Hey yo guys, it's Deep here, and today I actually want to talk about Kachina, and as much as I love her, how she is not looking good right now. Don't get me wrong, DPS wise, she is great. I've already put her up to level 90, as you can see here, and I'm pretty sure her weapon is up to level 90 as well. Yeah, I am gonna R5 it by crafting. I'll figure that out once I'm done with this. And her artifacts are also in a good spot. Her constellations could be C5, which is probably the best one. C6 isn't really needed, but hey, there. But there are other issues we need to address. These are divided into two things. There's the good things, you know, good things are happening actually, and bad things. Now, let's start with the good things. First off, Kachina is a super strong main DPS. I don't want to judge anyone who judges her, but I will. You guys are wrong. Stupid even. She is doing massive amounts of damage. You combine her in a team with Shironen, which sadly right now seems to be a requirement, and you've got some massive damage dealers on your end. It's super impressive how much each bounce does. At this point, 18k per each. The ulti is like 60k, and inside the ulti is even more. You'd have even more damage in the ulti if you had C5. Of course I don't, so I can't test that. Another good thing is Candace. I've leveled up Candace a bit better. She now has a lot more HP. She's at 41,000. I put some random artifacts I had on her, which give her the Tenacity in the middle of HP plus 20%, and Emblem of Severed Fate energy recharge as well. These are focused on energy recharge and HP percent only. That's because I took out Favonius and put in Black Tassel for even more HP. It's level 90. All that's left missing is to put her at level 90, and we're gonna be fine. And Yalan is also semi-built, which is impressive because I had not built this character since I've got her. Since she's released in the mines, I can't even remember what the name of the place is. In the chasm. Since the chasm's been released, I got her. Never played her. Never. Didn't really care. She's finally built. Her build kinda sucks, but let's just be happy that she's built, right? Now, we move on to the bad issues, the worst thing. First off, the team you see right here, Kachina, Yelan, Candace, Shironen, this is my Shironen C0 team. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not entirely sure what other supports Kachina can use, but Shironen is by far one of the best ones. However, I believed previously that Candace's buff, her ultimate, which applies buffs to basic attacks, works on Kachina's skill, which would be considered as normal attack damage, such as Molani's skill. Sadly enough, it is not. Her skill is not considered normal attack damage, it is still skill damage, and so Candace's buff is useless on her. It's not useless on my Molani team, where she will be setting up most of the time, you know? She's still going to be giving that massive buff after to Molani, but not on Kachina. That's sad part number one. Sad part number two is that we need to find a replacement for her. Because if you have Shironen at C0 and you want the resistance shred, then you're gonna need someone else that's not an element that's Geo that buffs your Kachina's attack here. Now, I've thought of this a bit, not much yet. I still have to look into it a bit more. My two options are either going into sort of bloom setup. My two options are going into sort of resistance shred or defense shred with Kuki Shinobu. I believe her ascension passive does. Something like Fischl as well for strong sub DPS, off-field DPS. Or you could use a shielder. if you have Kachina at C6. Now, the shielder really isn't required, however. It would really mostly be for the explosion. So it's not that impressive as well. Another option you have is to just put a Bennett on. Any attack buff will help, even though she mostly scales off of defense. Maybe even a Mona for a short burst of damage, which could be useful. It could be. But Candace is not going to be it. Just not it. I'll be doing some further testing to see what other supports she can use at Chillin and C0. But right now, Candace has to be out of the team. In fact, I'm going to take her out, and I'm going to replace her with Mona for now.
This is how it must
I'll
be.
figure that out later. Third thing, if you have Shallonen at C2 like I do, you can use this team. This is my favorite team for Kachina for sure right now. Goro is a massive buff. If you have him at C6, he is a massive buff. I don't have him, but he's still really good. And you don't even need to level him up that much. Only his skill. Now, this does need Shallonen C2, and if you don't have her, which I totally understand, by the way, I got super lucky in my pulls on her. There's just no chance you could use Kachina as a DPS. Now, you could use other supports, like Shallonen, for in my case, is a massive replacement to Kazuha, right? It doesn't really matter what happens, because I don't have Kazuha, I have Shallonen. If you have Kazuha, you have to build your teams around him, around his resistance shred through VV, and his Ascension passive. Now, since I don't have him, I'm actually not sure if his Ascension passive works with Geo, with Kachina. You'd have to be the judge of that. But either way, if you don't have Kazuha, use Sucrose instead. Use someone like that. And if that's the case, you can implement her into more mono Geo teams, like Zhongli. Instead of having Navia as a main DPS, or Ningguang, you could have Zhongli as your support, as your defensive. Maybe even Noel. And Kuro. Or Araraki Ito as your main DPS. Just slot her in there. She's probably gonna do more damage than them, honestly. I am super surprised with her damage. Another sad part, and this is actually about my Mulangi team, is that Xiangling is in it. Now let me be very clear here. I am a Xiangling hater. I am a Goober hater. I do not like her kit. I do not have her at C6. I do not want to have her at C6. Which means this team is only really going to be useful after Mavuika's out. But, and this is what's about Kachina as well. If Mavuika comes out and she is good with Kachina, in some way, somehow, I have no idea what her kit's gonna be, we could slot in Mavuika as the Kachina C0 replacement there. And the Vaporize for Yvonne and Mavuika would be massive. And then you just have to keep applying Kachina's massive already. She doesn't even need any buffs on her. Just keep jumping on people while Yvonne and Mavuika destroy them. And you're done. You're done. You're good to go. I feel like Mavuika is going to change this team around. I just need to wait for it to come out, right? That's it. Until she's out, though, it's not happening. I do, however, want to do a test. Let's imagine that my very badly built Xiangling... Let me see her artifacts here. Yep. Great artifacts. Yep. Great stats. Amazing stats. Love to see them. Is actually well built. What if I took her on a team with Kachina? Let's try this. I'm going to fight the boss that I've always fought, because I'm still farming for Candace level 90. We're going to use what I believe Mavuika could be used as in this team. Now, this is a bit of theory crafting, which is not entirely what I wanted to do here. But still, I think it's going to be fun. In this case, we're going to start off by applying Uba. Gucci went in to get the crystallize.
Gotcha.
2 proc it, and then I forgot to proc Yvanzo. Well, this is sad. This is a very sad moment for me. One moment. Reset. Apply Gooba. Get the reaction for crystallize. Go for Yvonne.
Here comes the catch.
Proc it.
Let her rip.
And then this would be doing so much more damage with the vaporize coming in. The Geo would intrude on it sometimes, but with enough pyro application, as is the case in Mulani's team, this could be perfect. Let's try it again. Get the ulti off. And look at that. Look at that damage. He had to run away because he was so scared.
Quietly now.
And if my Yvonne was better built than the absolute garbage she is, this would be massive. Oh, where did he go? No, you can't run away now. Pop, pop. Oh, I hate when he does that.
Here comes the catch.
Bam! That's a Kachina C0 team without Candace, which we now sadly know does not work. But can work with a Pyro Applier or a sufficient Pyro Applier, enough for Yvonne or Shangshu. Or Mavuka in the future, which I'm pulling for certainly, and I don't know about you guys, but it's like a good idea to pull for, if I'm gonna be honest. She's gonna be so cool, I bet. I heard she can ride a motorcycle. This is complete speculation here. She can ride like a bike and ride on all like locations. I think that's just YouTuber clickbait, but honestly, I wish she could do that. I've never spent money to actually put primos like in game other than the Welkin Moon and the Battle Pass, which I just bought now actually. And I'd still do it. I'd put him in. I just, yeah, get me Mavuika. My god. But yeah, that's about it. If you're a Kachina haver and a Kachina lover as much as I am, do not be sad that Candace doesn't work. You still have a lot of team comps that work. Mostly with applying Hydro with Yvonne or Shangshu. And then some kind of vaporized reaction that doesn't intrude by Geo. Or is at least not as intruded by Geo. But hey, it's something, right? It's better than having nothing. So yeah, if you guys liked the video, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And bye-bye. See you in the next one.